Kia ora folks, welcome to the FWW Podcast. My name's Tommy. I'm a father, medicine person, musician, therapist, and I'm here to help. It's been 3 or 4 weeks, 3.5 or 4.5 weeks since I've done an episode, since I recorded an episode. That is the longest gap by such a long time. Prior to, up till now, the longest gap was 1 week. And since I started, obviously, for 44 years, I didn't do any fucking episodes. And season 1 has now been airing for a while. I've told people I'm releasing season 2 next week. And I have about 10 or 12 episodes ready for season 2, except one of them had a good friend of mine in it, and she said she didn't feel comfortable with it, so I had to pull that episode. And then 2 of the episodes, I think, give some things away that are probably not healthy for me to give away, so I had to decide to maybe not release those 2 episodes. But one of them, I think I can edit some shit out, and maybe I can still release it. But time has moved on. It has been, it's been close to a month since I recorded an episode. Which means that it's probably been close to 4 months since I recorded the very first episode. I'm off to a great start, right? This is fucking staggeringly interesting. Just trying to give you a little idea in space-time where we're at now. Okay, so one of the things that people who weren't abandoned by one of their parents might not have much awareness about is that when you get abandoned by one of your parents, it fucks your confidence. It fundamentally fucks up your confidence. I am confident. I can be extroverted. I kind of switch in terms of introverted, extroverted. But I love myself immensely. That I didn't really probably come into the world this way or get out of adolescence that way. That has been work that I've cultivated, and some of the tools of how I've cultivated that. I've shared that with you over season 1. But I find myself at the age of 44 loving myself immensely and having deepened that self-love over this process that took place about a month before I started doing the podcast. But I already had great self-love anyway. But even with great self-love, even with good self-esteem, even with good friends and having done huge amounts of healing, there's a wound when one of your parents abandons you and rejects you that is very hard to get at the core of. And the way it has played out for me is that even when loving myself deeply, and even when believing in myself and backing myself, at a certain level, I have I realized last night, and I've kind of known it my whole life, at an unconscious level, there is something in the foundations of me that is not stable and does not believe it is worthy of standing up for itself. That if I stand up for myself, I will lose people, and therefore I must tolerate any type of treatment or behavior in relationships with friends and family, or else I will risk losing them. I've lived my life with that belief. Last night, I came home from a concert and I spent an hour writing a message to my ex-partner. I edited it for an hour. I probably could have written the message in 2 minutes, but I spent an hour writing it. That's not uncommon for me with emails and messages to people where dynamics are a bit challenging. I don't know the last time I sent a message or an email to anyone in anger. And I even mean co-workers and band members and distant friends. If I have conflict in my life, for me to speak or write in anger, to write and then push send, I often write in anger without pushing send, And I think it's a very good trick, by the way. Writing an email to someone as if you're not going to send it, I think is very therapeutic and cathartic. I just don't recommend pushing send once you've done the writing. But I almost never will push send or will say what I really think and feel. I edit the shit out of those messages. In person, on the spot, of course I've lost my temper. I lost my temper with my ex-partner at least 3, if not 5, somewhere between 3 and 6 times over 2.5 years. I would have lost my temper and spoken, with a raised voice and swear words. Not necessarily like, fuck you, but like, started, this is fucking shit or what, I don't know. I mean, I might have sworn at her. I think I did probably swear at her once or twice. And with the mother of my kids, spoke with a raised voice a lot of times. A lot of times, I'm talking like once or twice a year, and then sworn, and I have sworn at her, definitely. I know that for sure. I'm pretty sure I swore at my ex on a couple of times too. But in terms of messages, when I'm by myself, nah, man. Nah, I edit the shit out of them. And I was not feeling good sitting at home editing this message. And I knew that I was tapped into some part of me while I was writing this message. Like I was feeling anxious. I was really hoping to get the right result. And I went out walking afterwards. And that was the plan. But the plan was I was going to go walking in 5 minutes. I'll just write this message and then I'll go walking. And I wasn't even planning on sending the message. So it wasn't even like I had to get it ready for sending. But I obsessively, meticulously crafted this message. And I went out walking and I went, what the fuck, man? Why did you take an hour when you just want to go to bed? And now it's late and you're exhausted. Why did you do that? And it was like, just be honest with yourself, man. It was like, I spent that time because I want her to hear my pain. I want her to hear what I'm going through. And I want her, and it's like, well, why do you want that? Because I want her to know how things are still hard for me and how we're in such different places. And why do you want her to know that? Because I want her to see me. And why do you want that? Because I want her to love me. I want her to love me. It's like, fucking hell, man. It's nearly been 6 months. And she's not even really acting that much like she wants friendship. Like I'll send her a message and she won't reply for a week is not uncommon, And she's living overseas, there's a different time zone and all that stuff, but that doesn't, you know what I mean? Like that's a small part of why that might be happening. It's not the main thing. And it was like, I still love her. How does she not still love me? Like I still love her. I still fucking love her, and I'm crying, right? Like I'm out walking. It's fucking 1 a.m. It's midnight. I'm saying to God, I still love her. Why won't she love me? Why was it so easy for her to? I'm not talking about romantic love. I mean, on my part, maybe a little bit, but that's not what I'm wanting from her. I'm just wanting the friendship love that we always talked about having. I'm like, how is it so fucking easy for her to dismiss me? Like. How is it so easy for her to just discard me? And then I'm thinking like, fuck, there's been times in the last few months, because in the last few months, it's become really clear that the level of friendship that I want from her is not the level of friendship she wants from me. And I'm really surprised by that, because when we're separating, we said we wanted to be each other's best friends. We said, both said things like, you're my soulmate. I want, we probably neither of us said soulmate, because I don't think we use that term, but words to that effect. Like don't just want to be friends. We want to be best friends. We don't just want to be close. We want to be really close. And you're probably thinking, well, all couples say that and it never comes true. But actually I am really close with most of I'm on good terms with all of my exes, and I'm quite close with some of them. I mean, I still fucking live with the mother of my kids when we split up years ago. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty good at maintaining friendships. And with this woman in particular, I assumed that would happen. And it's become really clear that the level of friendship, the level of intimacy, the level of connection, the level of contact that I assumed we would carry on with is not what she wants. And I don't know if that's because she's changed her mind about what she wants, or if because when she said it, she was only saying it because she was in love with me, and now she's not in love with me, she doesn't mean it. But at times it has fucked with me, guys. At times it has been horrifying, because I have felt so It's like that feeling of someone being gaslit and then they realize they've been gaslit. Now, she didn't gaslight me. I don't believe she's a monster who lied to me. But at times I've questioned, could she ever even have loved me? Like if I, like we said we'd always be there for each other. We said we always wanted to be close. And now she treats me at a level of friendship, which is like a level 4 or a level 5. And it was like we were really clear, I thought. We were really clear we wanted a level 10. And so I've been confused, and it's like not only have I been grieving the relationship, like the romantic relationship, but I've been grieving this friendship I thought we were going to have. And a few weeks ago, for the first time, about 2 weeks ago, for the very first time, I finally went, oh fuck, I'm going to have to go negative. And I know you've heard me say in previous podcasts at least 2 or 3 times, I'm not going negative. I'm not rewriting history. I'm not creating a narrative where she's a nasty person. I'm not creating a narrative where she hurt me, or or devaluing the relationship. Like the relationship was fucking amazing. I'm not going to say it wasn't that good. La la la. But 2 weeks ago, I was just like, I'm going to have to go negative. So I didn't go negative in saying she's a shit person, and I didn't go negative in saying and rewriting history about the relationship. But I went, actually, what she said was going to happen in terms of friendship, in my opinion, and she probably doesn't feel that way, and that's totally fine, right? And she might be right and I might be wrong, I don't know. But from my perspective, what we said we were going to do with each other moving forward, I have done and she has not done, and it hurts like hell. That's the extent of how negative I've gone. And that hurts, and that's not fair, and I've got a right to feel hurt, and I've got a right to feel that that's unfair, and I've got a right to feel hurt by her and angry about it. And so for the last 2 weeks, I mean, I haven't been angry for 2 weeks. I'm not talking about being angry for 2 weeks, but I'm talking about, instead of going, she's fucking amazing, the relationship was fucking amazing, isn't it sad that we don't get to be together? I've kind of gotten more into this, I don't like the way she's treated me, I'm feeling a bit hurt, And I haven't communicated that to her at all in any way. In fact, we haven't had much contact in the last couple of weeks. But I did say to her about 2 weeks ago, hey, you realize this level of friendship we've got isn't what we discussed, and it would be great to talk about that, and like maybe we could have the level of friendship that we'd agreed on. Maybe we could have that intimacy and that connection, because now I feel like I'm not just grieving our relationship, I feel like I'm grieving a friendship because we always talked about being really close. And her response to that was in my opinion common to other responses that I've gotten from her over the last few months, which was a response, which was several responses, several messages over a couple of days that hurt me, rightly or wrongly. Could be totally my projection, could be the way I'm reading the things. Anyway, guys, let me just say one piece of advice. If you're going to talk about intimate stuff, delicate stuff, don't do it by fucking text. At the very least, do it by talking on phone or video chat. At the very least. Don't even send fucking monologues to each other by voice message. Like, don't do shit by text. So that's mistake number 1. But here's the thing. Last night I'm out there walking, and I'm thinking, I spent an hour being fucking obsequious. I have spent hours and hours being delicate, finessing things, being diplomatic. I have apologized since we split up at least 10, 20 times for things, in instances where I did nothing wrong and there was nothing to apologize for. And that's something I learned from my mum. Most of this wounding's about my dad, I think, but with my mum, I was so scared of losing my mum's love, because she was the only parent I had left, that I would apologize even when I didn't think I'd done something wrong. And I'm out there on the path last night, and I'm seeing this behavior, how I have groveled and begged for her to still love me, for her to still be nice to me, for her to give me the friendship that she said that was going to take the place of our romantic relationship. And I'm feeling all the anxiety of losing her, and all the pain and grief, and this horror, like how has it turned out this way? Why won't she love me? She said we were going to stay close, and now she doesn't seem like she wants to stay close, and what does that mean? And I'm feeling all of it, and I'm just saying again and again to myself, why doesn't she love me? Like, why doesn't she want me? Why doesn't she love me? And again, that fucking beautiful voice of Queen or bitch, or I think I was calling her Kali a while ago. I'm just calling her Queen again, and Kali didn't sit, Maria didn't sit. Bitch, she likes me calling her bitch, but I love her too much. I'm just not really the kind of guy to call. I call myself bitch when I'm talking about myself, but talking about her in third person, I don't know. I think it's up for her to call herself bitch. I want to give her more reverence because I really respect this part of me. And she fucking comes through. And I'm like, why won't she love me? Why won't she care? And she goes, you fucking are telling the world, Tommy. You are telling the world that you're fucking disposable. And you choose people who will dispose of you. And I was like, I'm already feeling sad. Now you're telling me it's my fault because of my attitude? And she's like, you have been telling the fucking world since day one that people can treat you how the fuck they want, and you put up with it. I got a friend 2 years ago. He split up with me. A friend. He split up with me because I started a fucking Facebook group called Plant Medicine Aotearoa. He told me that AI was tracking us all, and that me having a fucking harm reduction group on Facebook was going to get everyone arrested and la la la. And I said, oh man, look, you know, he went down the fucking rabbit hole after COVID. and I love him. We didn't have a bust up over the COVID shit. You know what I mean? We could have different perspectives. You know what I mean? I was very middle ground. In my opinion, I was very middle ground around, not around COVID, but around the mandate, right? Like here in New Zealand, they mandated, they said teachers and health workers were all going to lose their jobs if they wouldn't get the vaccine. And it split up families, it split up communities. The woo-woo community got just torn the fuck apart. And I managed to keep friends on both sides, right? Not because I'm a fucking pussy and I don't have an opinion, but because I'm not dogmatic, and because I don't think you have to think the same thing as me, or else we can't be friends. But anyway, he went down the full on rabbit hole. Wouldn't surprise me if he'd gone all fucking transphobic by now either. I don't know how the fuck they went. I don't know how it went from people thinking that people thinking that you shouldn't fire. I mean, just so you know, here in New Zealand, we had a fucking workforce crisis for both health workers and for teachers. Like if epidemic proportions, we had a crisis, and we just said you're all fired if you won't get the vaccine. Like, it was pretty intense. So it made sense to me that a lot of people thought, hey, look, maybe could we do rats testing instead? Like, would there be some other solution we can do rather than just firing them all? And so I thought that was fair enough. But how the fuck people went from hey, maybe don't fire all our teachers and nurses to there's a trans agenda and trans people trying to take over the world. That's some clever fucking manipulation right there. Like that's I don't know how the fuck those two things somehow have some common interest, or like that perplexed me. Anyway, hey, I don't know if this guy is transphobic or not, but I'm just saying that because he's a fucking dick. No, he's not a dick. He's one of my best friends. Here's the sad part. He was one of my best friends. I fucking love this guy. We sent each other voice messages 10 times a day. He was going through a horrible. He was having some very difficult relationship difficulties with a woman. They were on and off. I was a big support person for him. He tells me he wants me to take down the Facebook page. I go, dude, it's a harm reduction page. Like, no one's on there saying, hey, buy some plant medicine, or hey, I'll run an illegal plant medicine ceremony. Like, if anyone posts shit that's illegal, we just take down the post and we give them a warning. Like, it's just for harm reduction, you know? And to be honest with you, I was hoping I might get a few clients come my way who wanted to do some integration work. You know, they've had a psychedelic experience. Obviously, psychotherapists can't offer psychedelic experiences, but I thought, you know, people on there might have psychedelic experiences and want to see a therapist to do some of the integration work. I was hoping to get some interesting clients from it, you know. Also, I was planning on selling apparel. I thought fucking t-shirts with a cool logo that said Plant Medicine Aotearoa would be, a lot of people would like them. I was kind of like trying to create a little what's it called? Not an audience, a market. I don't know, people I could sell shit to. But I didn't make the t-shirts, and I didn't really push myself as a therapist for them very much either. So it hasn't really happened. But anyway, he goes, "You've got to shut it down," and I go, "I'm not going to shut it down, man. Like there's no harm can come from his." And he started getting aggressive with me. This was, again, stupidly, it's all my fault. This is by message again, right? And voice message, at least voice message, not written message. And I go, "Hey," he's telling me I'm being arrogant. He's telling me I'm being stupid. You don't know what's coming. The AI fucking surveillance. They're gonna, and you know, this is once this is, you know, like it was a bit intense. And I'm like, "Dude, I fucking love you, man. I love you, but I don't see this the way you see it. You know, can we agree to disagree? Is that all right?" And he's like, "Nah, it's not all right. If you won't do this, I want you to take my number out of your phone, and you won't be welcome at my house anymore." And I was like, "You, like, that's crazy, right? Like, we just disagree. We just think, you think that people will be." I'm like, "Don't join the group. Like, no one has to join the group. Like no one in our group of friends needs to join the group if they don't think it's safe. If they think they're going to get surveillance, like, they just don't become part of it. You don't have to." And this guy, interesting. This guy wasn't just the guy who had the most social events in our social group. Like he held the most social events. So many things were at his house, even including concerts and shit. Not only that, but other people who didn't have like cool flats would have all their birthday parties at his house. So almost every social event in my whole social group, my main social group, I should say, was at his house. So when he cut me out a year and a half, 2 years, probably about 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago at least, ostensibly I was cast out of the whole fucking tribe. Not because other people joined his opinion of me, just by the fact that I couldn't be at any events. And I must have reached out to him 2 or 3 times, not immediately, you know, like I had a little bit of pride, but about 3 months later I was like, "Hey dude, you know, this stuff, can we be cool, man? Like, I fucking love you, man. Like, I miss you. This feels like, you know, surely the moment's passed. We can be friends now." Didn't hear back from him. Sent another message maybe 2-3 months later. Then I thought, fuck, maybe he blocked me, you know? So I sent messages through a different app or whatever. Now I've ended up sending messages through a friend of mine who I know is in contact with him. What I'm trying to say is, he was rude to me. He was like, in none of my messages was I ever even vaguely rude to me. They were all loving and caring. He was consistently rude to me in his messages. Then he cast me out of a group, which, you know, he cast me out of his life, but ostensibly meant that he cast me out of the whole fucking group, and had a huge impact on my social circle and friendships. And every single time I spoke to him about it or reached out to him, I was loving and caring, and probably a couple of times apologetic. And that's how I've been my whole fucking life. And that's how I've been with my ex-partner. There's a couple of interesting other examples of it in my life at the moment that have taken place at the same time. I don't think I'll go into that right now. But last night when the Queen came through and I said, why I still love her. Why doesn't she love me anymore? I still want her in my life, even just as a friend, right? Like, I'm not, just so you know, 6 months of this fucking intense grieving, I've never once asked to get back together. I've never once said, let's still be partners. Like, that's never where this has come from. We're just talking about friendship and caring for each other and being there for each other. And she just was like, yeah. Because you tell people they can treat you however the fuck they want, and you'll put up with it. You'll apologize to them. And I knew she was right. And I said, well, like, how do I stop it? How do I fucking stop it? How do I, like, she's like, You fucking tell people that you're fucking disposable, so they dispose of you. And it's like, okay, sure, fair enough. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I fucking do. And I go, but I love myself. I value myself. I care about myself. I enjoy myself. I don't have low self-esteem. Like, I don't have low self-esteem. And I don't have a problem loving myself. And she goes, no, you don't. But when it comes to relationship, friendships or romantic, you think that unless you do what the other person wants, unless you work really hard and try really hard, you'll be thrown away. I was like, yeah, I do. She goes, because when you were fucking 5 years old, your dad threw you away like a piece of fucking garbage. And I know, guys, I've known all along this whole thing's about my dad, man. There's some shit to do with my mum that reinforces it and that comes in too, and, you know, there's nuance to it, but it's about this, man. And I'm like, yeah, my dad threw me away like a piece of fucking rubbish. Like, I was so fucking easy to just go, oh, my new wife's pregnant now, so I don't need Tommy anymore. 5-year-old boy just fucking threw me away. I won't see Tommy anymore. I'm too busy now. With my new family. With my new wife. I said, yeah. But this doesn't fucking help me. This insight, this great wisdom, this grand revelation. I said, I need to change it. I want to fucking change it, guys. Like, I want to fucking change it. I don't want to just have understanding about where the fuck it comes from. I want to change it. How do I change it? I can't change it. I don't know how to change it. Yes, it obviously comes from my dad. Yes, I'm putting out a signal to the universe and to anyone who comes into my life that I'm fucking someone you can just throw away and you can just treat like a fucking piece of garbage. Somehow I am sending that message, but I don't know how. How do I change it? How do I change it? I got down on my knees, you know? And I'm crying. And I'm like, Spirit, I don't know how to change it. I don't know how to change it. I can see it, but I don't know how to change it. I said, Queen, I need you to explain it to me. I need you how to change. She goes, you know how to fucking stop it, Tommy. You just stop it. You just stop it. I go, how? She goes, you can't stop it with your feelings. You can't stop it with your thoughts. You can stop it with your behavior. That's the fucking circuit breaker. And I go, what do I do? And she goes, you don't tolerate shit. If someone's telling you to fuck off, you tell them to fuck off back. If someone's telling you they don't want you in your life, you say, fine, I won't be in your life. You don't chase people who don't want you. Every time you apologize when you haven't done something wrong, every time you chase someone who's not that interested in you, every time you put up with bad treatment, you're telling them and you're telling the universe that you're a piece of shit and they can treat you how the fuck you like. And it was immediately obvious to me that what drives that is anxiety. Anxiety says to me, don't rock the boat. Don't say this. Don't push send. Don't tell the person how you really feel. Think before you speak now, Tommy. I haven't been anxious the way I am the last year and a half or last year, my whole life. I woke up every morning excited up until about a year and a half ago. Me and one of my closest friends, a dude called Johnny, he got clean about a year after me, and he was a year younger than me. We were like best friends for like 15 years, and we've just reconnected a few months ago, like at a really deep, like 2 months ago, at a really deep level, reconnected, like in a profound, amazing fucking level. It's so beautiful. He used to say to me, are you serious, Tommy? You go to bed every night grateful and you wake up every morning excited. I'm only like a year clean at this point. I go, yeah, what's it like for you? He goes, anxiety. I wake up anxious as fuck. That wasn't true for me until about a year and a half ago. I've woken up with anxiety, quite bad anxiety, for a long time now. And I'm not saying this is the cause of it, because I've had a lot of theories. We're trying to work it out for about a year and a half, right? Year and a half, I can't tell. Maybe only a year. No, maybe, whatever. And I remembered we had a fight, me and my ex. And not a physical fight. We had an argument. But one of the times where I would have shouted, definitely, and maybe I swore at her. Remember I said I might have sworn at her a couple times. And she would have sworn at me too. Like, you know, it was we were both shouting, you know. And that only happened, like I say, I think we only raised voices, yeah, like literally in 2.5 years, somewhere between 4 and 6 times, and all of them were in the last year of our relationship. In fact, probably they were all in the last 6 months of our relationship. Anyway, it was probably the first time that happened. And it was one of those times where I ended up apologizing for my partner. And you shouldn't, don't get me wrong, I believe in apologizing for your partner things. I think that's a great thing to do. So I apologized for my partner. But I think I did more than that. I think I apologized for their partner, maybe. And I heard and held space for them as we did the repair work later that day and again the next day and the following days. And I pushed what I needed to say aside. I kept thinking, I'll just hold space for them. I'll just hold space for them. Because I've got more capacity to do that, you know, and my stuff doesn't need to be front and center, and we're both feeling hurt, but I can look after her and take care of her. And I just kept pushing my stuff aside again and again and again. I actually had a list on my phone of things that I needed to say, and we just worked on the stuff that she needed to say and the things that I needed to make repair for and the things that I need to make amends for. We actually split up. It was like, yeah, say 6 to 9 months later. We'd never gotten to my list. I'm not saying I didn't. I'm not saying for that whole 6 to 9 months I was only looking after her. Like she was still, during that 6 to 9 months, she still gave me a lot of love and affection and care. Like it's like, but I saw how at that point, up until that point, we just had an incredible, amazing relationship. And at that point, things got hard, and with ups and downs, the hard never really left. And I never really told my side of the story. And I never really stood up for myself. And that's about the time when my anxiety started. There were other things going on at the time that it wasn't so obvious to me. But I think at that moment in time, the part of me that I call Sophia, the vulnerable child inside that is very feminine and prone to anxiety and fear and guilt. I think at that moment, she saw that I wasn't willing to defend her, and I wasn't willing to support her, and I wasn't willing to stand up for her. And she plagued me. She plagued me with anxiety for the rest of that relationship. And she's been plaguing me with anxiety ever since. Because even though the relationship, as a romantic relationship, ended, I never stopped. I never stopped trying so hard to do the right thing and say the right thing so that I could keep this person's love. I've been working so hard and trying so hard to keep this person's love, to keep this person happy with me, desperately hoping that this person's narrative about me will be a positive one. She used to say that I'd raise the bar so high for her, that if we ever broke up and she had future relationships, I'd raise the bar so high for her. I've been working so hard to keep that narrative alive. The thought that might change, and that she would no longer see me as that amazing person who'd raised the bar for her. That she would somehow rewrite history, and I wouldn't be, in her mind, that amazing person anymore. Nothing to do with wanting her back. Nothing to do with wanting her back. Oh, probably a little bit. Fuck it, let's be honest. For once. But seriously, even if you could take that element out, it wouldn't change how desperately I want that. And the thought of it not grinding in my fucking stomach with this paralyzing fucking anxiety. And then I cast my eye on these other interesting dynamics that are going on with a couple of friendships in my life. And I'm doing exactly the same thing. I'm putting up with some treatment that's not really cool at all. And I was like, I said, it's only my actions, right? And she goes, oh yeah, Tom, it's your actions. Because you're not going to change how you think and how you feel unless you change how you act. So does that mean I have to say something or do something in regards to my ex? She's like, yeah, this isn't one you can just keep under your belt and shift how you feel inside. Only action is gonna count here. And I formulated a message to her about 1 minute. And then I tried again, totally different tact. Perfect. Each one took me seconds. Once you stop pretending you don't know something, real fucking easy to express it. And so I tried in these other few little relationships, including my friend who I told you about, who's completely kicked me out of our fucking friend group. Real easy. Real fucking easy. When you're not trying to get it right, when you're not trying to control how other people think about you, when you're not kind of trying to control the outcome of the things that you say, and when you're not trying to, politic and fucking be diplomatic and manage the relationship. When you're honest about how someone is treating you and how it's impacting on you, it's very fucking simple to express yourself. When you're not afraid of what they might think, if you tell them, all of a sudden you don't need so many fucking sentences. So I came back home and I did it. And I did it with my ex, and I did it with another relationship. I sent messages. And part of me thought, oh, Tommy, you've just had this realization. You might have a different realization in the morning. I was like, yeah, I might wake up in the morning and be a fucking pussy again. It's really likely I will. It's like, yeah, and then you'll feel all this fuck. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Because the part of me that's going to regret it and feel anxious, and I love Sophia, don't get me wrong, I love her, and I will look after her and I will take care of her. But she feels anxious if I do it, right? Like if I send that, she feels anxious. She tells me not to send it, don't rock the boat, don't rock the boat, don't rock the boat. But she's been feeling 10 times more anxious with me tolerating and me putting up with this kind of treatment, and me saying to these people and saying to the universe, come fuck with me. I'll accept anything. If this is all you're offering, oh yeah, I'll take that. I love crumbs. Give me the crumbs. You know what I mean? I don't need the main course. Oh, dessert for me? Oh, no. I'll eat the crumbs from your feet. Now look, I'm not saying for a second that my ex has treated me badly. I might perceive it that way at this moment in time. In 6 months' time, I might not perceive it that way. This isn't about her and what she's done. You could look at all the messages between us and analyze them a variety of ways. She's continued to write caring things and to write loving things. She's not a bad person. This isn't about her. This is about me, and this is about the signal I send, and this is about how I stand up for myself or don't stand up for myself. And that's true with the other people in my life. Except maybe this fucking dude who kicked me out of his fucking friend group just because I started a fucking harm reduction site for people who take psychedelics. I think fuck that, right? Fuck that. And there's a few things my ex has done that I don't appreciate. And there's a few things a couple of my friends have done in the last month or so that I don't appreciate. And just in case you're thinking, I see what's going on here. Tommy has taken his grief and turned it into scorn, and he is now isolating himself from friends and blaming them for it. Because I could see how it could seem that way, because now I've said there's multiples. These other situations have nothing to do with me. These other situations are actually about things that haven't had a lot to do with me. Where I have gotten caught up in things. That's so hard to explain it without giving detail. But you know me, when it comes to other people's affairs, I try not to talk too much. When it comes to me, I'm a pretty open book. This is the longest one I've done, apart from I've had a conversation with a friend, which, I've had two conversations with friends, but I think only one of them is going to be allowed to be aired. Quick freestyle, because it's such a long episode. Just going to tune that. You know what? I just want to say, the moral is, right? The moral is, if you want to really be free, because I've been free, man. I've been free these last few weeks in increasing levels. Life has gotten better in every way. And it's like I was still caged in one way. And it was around this. It was around this working really hard to preserve this relationship, to hope that if I got everything right, if I did it just the right way, if I said the right words, then I could have her friendship and I could have her love. And it hasn't been fucking working. You know what I mean? I think that's why it's fallen apart. I think the universe has tried to show me, even if you do it, Tommy, even if you're driven by anxiety and you desperately try and be the perfect ex-partner and write the perfect messages and be perfectly patient and tolerant, and you put up with, even if you do all that shit, it's not gonna fucking work. And I think that's why it's not working, is to show me this strategy I've had my whole life. Not only is it pathetic, not only does it not behoove me, but it doesn't even work. Like, I don't even get what, not only does it fuck my self-esteem, not only does it mean I invite into my life people who don't truly value me, not only does it, crush internal aspects of myself, and not only does it tell myself that I'm, affect my self-esteem, I already said that one, but it doesn't even help. It doesn't even help. I'm not in a close, intimate relationship with my ex like we said we'd be. I got kicked out of my friend group 2 years ago, and none of my overtures have had any impact on me getting back into that friend group or the friend with that guy, which was, it wasn't just the friend group. Like, I love this man. Like, him and me were very, very close. I still love him. He's a fucking beautiful dude. I'd still like to be his friend. Like, and these other couple of things that have happened, again, my being endlessly patient and tolerant and accepting this, that, and the other has not resulted in me having an abundance of wonderful people in my life who I have to fucking grovel to, but at least I get the people. I do the groveling, I don't even get the fucking people. Like, it doesn't even work as a fucking strategy. Now, I'm not saying if I just, I'm not going to be a hard ass. I'm not going to turn into some guy who tells people, if you don't do exactly how I want and be the kind of friend I want, then our friendship's over. Of course, I'm still going to be this friendly, tolerant, patient dude. I'm not fucking fundamentally changing who I am. But by not fucking begging, by not fucking groveling, and by stating what I'm worth, I may still end up with losing these friends. I may still end up, but that wouldn't be any different to the situation I'm in right now. At least I could have a little fucking dignity. And dignity's worth more, my friends. Your dignity's worth more, my friends, than a lot of things. Dignity's worth more, my friends, than a lot of things. Than a lot of things, my friend. I was so swimming and sailing the ocean. I would go running and climbing the jungle. I would go living and walking the mountain. I'ma go swimming and diving the river pool. I'ma feel my life holding up the side. I'ma take a Santa Maria right out of the pipe. I'm a warrior for the soldier. I'm a love warrior, giving you like Goja. I'ma walk these fields. If I must walk these fields alone, I'ma walk these hills. I'ma walk these hills. And if I must walk these hills alone, I'ma walk these walls. I'ma walk these streets. And if I must walk these streets alone, 'cause I'd rather be alone. I'd rather be alone, alone, alone. But I won't make my heart a stone. I'd rather be alone, alone, alone. But I won't make my heart a stone. Open it up, 'cause I am completely committed to love and spiritual stuff. Jah Rastafari fill my cup, and I won't be the first one to say I'ma love this person, but I'ma do the hard one this time. Tell it like it is. This guitar got terribly out of tune. Probably because I have not played that particular guitar for the 3 or 4 weeks since I did a podcast. Hey, hope you guys are liking season 2 so far. I'm a little bit worried it's a bit of a fucking mess. But fuck it, you don't have to watch it, right? Love you guys.